What is up, everyone? This is 7 Octoberz here with another lyrical breakdown, part 6 from my EP From Xibalba to Aztlan. This is the sixth track on the EP called Generational Curses. It's actually one of my favorite tracks on here. Shout out to Mindframe from New York. He did the beat on here. He sent me the beat, and actually I wrote these two separate. So I got the beat, and then this I already had written it out. It was actually a poem. It started as a poem, not a song. And then I got the instrumental from Mindframe, and I fell in love with that instrumental, and I was like, I think I can merge these two together. So when I first initially sent it to Kill C, I had sent it as like a spoken word track, but I really was vibing to the beat, so it actually didn't even sound like I was doing a spoken word. It looks like I was rapping. So when I sent it to Kelsey, he was like, you know what, like, is this supposed to be spoken word, or is this like a track? Because if it's gonna be a track, you want to break it up, because it was just like a long verse, pretty much. It didn't even have a hook. And I was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, I want to make it a track. And I got to work. I split that whole verse into two verses and kind of wrote some of it with Kelsey. He helped me a little bit and coached me. And then the hook, I wrote it as well while I was in the studio with Kelsey, because I was still trying to think about like a cool hook. So that's how it came about. So I'll go ahead and play the first verse, and then I'll let it run into the hook so you guys can hear it, and then we'll cover and break it down. So here we go. Generational curses.
My parents worked tireless hours. My grandparents told us the world was ours. My ancestors give me superpowers for being afraid. I ain't a coward, always been a leader. Never a follower, more of a fighter than a lover, a genius. Don't judge a book by its cover. I was a poet, waiting to be discovered. Realized being different is what made me unique. Then I stopped giving a fuck about what people think. I'm following my dreams, I'm doing me. A strong, beautiful Mexican independent woman who's been through things. Never let it define me or break me. I've changed but became a better me. A queen born in 89, still in my prime. Breaking generational curses one day at a time. Finally found my purpose, I'm just trying to survive. I finally found my purpose, ending all these cycles and curses. You still feel hopeless till I bloom like a lotus. I finally found my purpose, ending all these cycles and curses. You still feel hopeless till I bloom like a lotus. I finally found my purpose, ending all these cycles and curses. You still feel hopeless till I bloom like a lotus. I finally found my purpose.
All right, so that was the first verse and the hook. So my parents worked tireless hours, so I didn't really grow up in like a normal your stereotypical, I guess, Mexican household. Both my parents spoke English and Spanish. A lot of my friends' parents didn't speak English, so that was like a big difference for me. Also, a lot of my friends' parents were like the I guess, stereotypical Mexican family where the dad worked and the mom stayed at home. But that wasn't my case. Both my parents worked. Um, my mom worked in retail and still does. And my dad did different things like in accounting, bookkeeping, medical billing, stuff like that. And he would go to school at night. So he's one of the people that really um, pretty much instilled that in me and my sisters to like education pretty much was important, and knowledge and music as well. He is a big music fan, as well as my mom. So both of them were really hard workers, and I saw them, working, coming home late, and trying to provide for us. And then my grandma, my grandparents, which is my mom's mom, mi abuelita Rafaela, who passed away October 7th of 2014. She raised me and my sister, so she was like our second mom. And my grandpa also took care of us, which I call him grandpa, but he's technically not our blood related grandpa. He's actually my mom's stepdad. He's still alive. So they both pretty much raised us, and I say my grandparents told us the world was ours, because they always, told us we could do anything and believed in our dreams. And my grandpa like taught us how to ride a bike, Again, my grandma would tell us stories. We have like little talent shows in the living room. I think that's where like my whole inspiration for music came as well, in like movies, and we would just perform in front of her. And she bought me my first guitar too, my first acoustic guitar. I know how to like play it a little bit, but I'm not like savvy or anything like that. So that was the type of person she was. Is she encouraged our dreams. Like I told her I wanted to play guitar, and she bought it like one day, one time that she went to like Mexico, because she would go really very often to visit her family, and she would bring us gifts, and she brought me a guitar, and I still have it till this day. It's a very precious gift that I will always cherish, you know. So that's where I say those two lines. And then my ancestors gave me superpowers again. I come from a we come from a lineage of gods, and I'm really proud of that. So that's where that line comes from. Fuck being afraid, I ain't a coward. Pretty straightforward. Always been a leader, never a follower. Same. I was always like a loner kind of as I was young. I was very shy. I did hang out mostly with the boys. I always fit in more with, was more like, I guess you could say, a tomboy. I always hated that term, but that's why I love basketball, all that stuff. So I've never been a follower. I've always been a leader. More of a fighter than a lover. Straightforward as well. A genius. Don't judge a book by its cover. A lot of people always assume the way I look might not be someone that might be intelligent, but I'm very, very smart. So, and then I was a poet waiting to be discovered. Again, straightforward. Realized being different is what made me unique. Again, I really had low self-esteem growing up. Didn't think I was like the most beautiful person or anything like that. But then I grew to love myself, and like I said, then stopped giving a fuck about what people think and followed my dreams, and I'm doing me. A strong, beautiful Mexican independent woman who's been through things. And I say that as a positive affirmation because I want other strong, beautiful Mexican women, and not even just Mexican, but women in general, to feel that that they're beautiful and strong, and to never let anybody minimize that. So that's why I say that line. And I've been through things. There's everybody that's had shit that they've gone through in life. So I hope people can relate to that line. Never let it define me or break me. I've changed but became a better me. A queen born in 89. Again, I'm from 89, 31. Still in my prime, breaking generational curses one day at a time. Finally found my purpose. I'm just trying to survive. Again, just letting people know I wasn't born like this with this self-love and like high self-esteem. I had to like grow into it. So we all have to face our demons, live life. And that's why I say, like, I finally found my purpose. Like, I found it. I hope this kind of makes people want to search for it if they haven't found it yet. It all comes in different times, and we all have different paths. And then again, ending all cycles and curses. Used to feel hopeless till I bloom like a lotus, like the flower. So again, I talk a lot about the generational curses, just breaking all the stereotypes within, our culture. And it might not be, you might not be Mexican, like any culture, like be Russian, Chinese, whatever it is. Like, for me, it was like my parents had never graduated from college. So me and my twin sister graduated from San Diego State. So that was like a big milestone. Even as far as like your belief system, like a book that I really recommend is the Four Agreements. That book really talks about that, like how we're all embedded this knowledge and passed on from our relatives, but we never really question it. So for example, for me, it was religion. I had to break that generational, I wouldn't say the curse, but cycle, I guess you can say. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm not religious anymore. I still believe in like the universe and all that, but I had to like question everything that I've been taught and kind of relearn everything again. So, and then just breaking different stereotypes. And maybe you come from a family where you have a lot of people that die to like street or gang violence, and you try to get away from that life to make a better life for yourself. Never be ashamed of that. So be proud of the changes that you're making, because you're going to pass that on to the future generation. So yeah. So let me go ahead and play the second verse here.
All these cycles and curses used to feel hopeless till I bloom like a lotus. Never sold my soul to the devil. I'm on a whole nother level. Spoke my mind to the universe and it provided me this vessel. I have this gift to put words together. Just look at my pen. I'm a hidden treasure. My people only see pain in hearses. I'm trying to break all these generational curses. The land of indigenous people was stolen, yet we kept going. My ancestors been broken, healed our own wounds like Logan. They were enslaved, lynched, now put in cages. Wrote us off the books to hide our traces. Trying to rewrite our history by changing the color of our faces. Fuck races, let's unite all places. My brown skin equals greatness. Watch me elevate from Aztecs to a spaceship. Land of gods, I am ancient. I beat the odds, I'm dream chasing. I finally found my...
All right, so that was verse 2. So again, never sold my soul to the devil. Again, I'm not religious, but as we hear a lot in the music industry, people like sell their souls type of things, and people believe in that. And it also means like not actually like selling your soul as far as like giving up who you are for like fame and stuff like that, like changing who you are. That's like another way. Not necessarily has to be like you actually sold your soul to the devil, but that's what I mean by that. That I've never changed who I am to try to like get more followers or whatever. That's why I say that line. I'm on a whole nother level. Straightforward. Spoke my mind to the universe and it provided me this vessel. Again, this vessel being my body. I do believe in kind of like reincarnation in the afterlife. So this is just like a vessel in the meantime. And I'm just kind of speaking through it. I have this gift to put words together. Just look at my pen. I'm a hidden treasure. My people only see pain in hearses. I'm trying to break all these generational curses again, talking about, my Mexican and Chicano culture, who have died, whether either it was, like I said, like gang violence, or being murdered by cops or just acts of like hate. I'm trying to break all these generational curses. The land of indigenous people was stolen. Again, I say that line because we know that California, parts of Arizona and stuff like that used to be Mexico, and the United States wanted to buy it from us, but we said no, and then we had a war, and then they ended up taking it and buying it for like a cheaper price. But pretty much this is still our land, still Mexican. So that's why I say we indigenous. A lot of people never want to really talk about like Native Americans and Mexicans, but we have more in common than we don't. So we're also indigenous as well. We're natives to this land. So I try not to use the word immigrants as much anymore because I don't believe we're immigrants. We are indigenous to this land. Yet we kept going. Our ancestors kept going. Like even though we were broken, we still healed our own wounds like Logan, Wolverine. So again, I'm a huge movie fan. I'm also a huge superhero like nerd and shit like that. So I grew up watching like X-Men and Spider-Man, Batman, all that. So I had to like shout out right there. So healed our own wounds like Logan's. For those who know, Wolverine's real name is Logan. And he actually has the power to heal himself. So that's why I say that. They were enslaved, lynched, not put in cages. So again, enslaved as far as like the Aztecs with Hernan Cortez, lynched. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't know it until one of my friends who took a Chicano course as well. I took a few, but I never really learned this. Not only black people were lynched, but also Mexicans were being lynched as well. There's like a book she recommended, and I still have to read it, but they were lynched as well. So I say that like enslaved, lynched, and not put in cages, as we know, with the whole immigration system here in the United States. They're separating families and putting people in cages and stuff like that. So that's why I say that. Wrote us off the books to hide our traces. So again, we don't really hear a lot about our history, sadly. Mexican and Chicano, it's like if you do, it's only like one chapter, not even a chapter, like one page maybe. Obviously, I'm not in school anymore. I don't know how the textbooks look, but I doubt that they've changed much. Unless you take like a Chicano class or you go and do research on your own, you find out stuff about our history, which is sad. So that's why I say they wrote us off the books to hide our traces. And then they try to rewrite our history, like change the narrative by changing the color of our faces. So there was like a meme, I think, going on in a textbook where there was like Egyptians that they look white. But as we know, like a lot of Egyptian people back in the day, that's why if you look at the hieroglyphics and all that stuff, they had darker skin. They were brown. Some even were black from like the Moors and stuff like that. So Again, people need to go and do their research. Don't go off the textbooks you see. But again, they try to rewrite the history and change the color of our faces. Fuck racist. Straightforward. Let's unite all places. Kelsey helped me with that line. My brown skin equals greatness. Straightforward again. Positive affirmation. Watch me elevate from Aztecs to a spaceship. Again, Kelsey helped me out with that line. That's a fucking dope line. Pretty much saying, we came from a land of gods, and now look at us move into like a more futuristic. We can do godly shit. Land of gods. I am ancient. I beat the odds. I'm dream chasing. So yeah, this is again a very, very, very inspirational track. I really love this track. I hope you guys dig it as well. Hope it starts a conversation about breaking generational curses within your family, within your culture. Question everything that you're taught. Don't just agree with it. And yeah, I hope you guys dig it. I hope you guys are digging the project. And then I'll have one more of these lyrical breakdowns. And yeah, thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Peace.